Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Archaran Singh and today we will be learning different variations of VLOOKUP. So how to apply a VLOOKUP function like a normal one, how to apply a VLOOKUP with an approximate match, VLOOKUP plus match function nested in it, and lastly the VLOOKUP function looking up the second and third value in the list. So let's get started. So the first instance is the VLOOKUP normal that we'll be learning. So we have a data range here wherein we have name of people, the departments, month, and the sales that they have done. We want to identify the department of these specific individuals and the sales done by them. So we'll apply a VLOOKUP function for the same. So here is a syntax for VLOOKUP. So firstly, we'll apply the function equal to VLOOKUP. The first is the lookup value. What do we want to look? So lookup value is what do we want to look? We want to look up Joe, comma. Second is table array. Table array is where you want to look it for. So we want to look at here in this table. Starting, you should just need to ensure that this range starts from the cell, from the columns where this value is. So in this case, it's the name column. So I'll press F4 to lock the range, comma. So now department. Department is in the second column. If you see, name is the first column, department is the second column in this range. So we will mention 2 here because the column index number, it says the column number in the range containing the value 2, comma. So 0 for an exact match, 1 for an approximate match. So we'll press 0 and close the bracket and hit enter. So it gives us the department for Joe, connectivity and sales, like you have here. So I'll simply drag this formula. So this is for the department. In case we want the sales for this particular person, so we'll apply the VLOOKUP function again here. So equal to VLOOKUP. We want to look up Joe, comma, where do we want to look up? We want to look it up here. We'll press F4 to lock it, comma. The column index number for sales is 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So it's the 5th column, which is the sales. So I'll press 5, comma, 0 for an exact match, bracket close, enter. So this is the sales for Joe. I'll drag the formula and press enter. So that's how you apply the normal VLOOKUP function. We also have a dedicated video on our channel for VLOOKUP function in detail. So if you want to have a look, I'll put the link in the description. You can go and watch that video. So the second variation of the VLOOKUP is the VLOOKUP with an approximate match option. This is very useful function where you want to give a range based on the cell value. So like we have a table here, and based on the sales, we want to know which range these people fall in. So we have this range less than 2 lakhs, 2 lakhs to 3 lakhs, 3 lakhs to 4 lakhs. And similarly, we have commission values that will be given to them according to this sales value. So we can use VLOOKUP with approximate match for this kind of scenario. So before we apply this function VLOOKUP with approximate match, I wanted to tell you how this function exactly works. So it tries to figure out the value which is greater than this value in a range and gives you the value before it. For example, we have 1,40,000 here. If you want to find this 1,40,000 in this range, it will try to find 1,40,000, but it will not get it. So it will stop here at 2 lakhs and it will give me the value, next value, like for example, this next value to the one before. So in this case, less than 2 lakhs. So once we apply it, will be more clear. Equal to VLOOKUP. So VLOOKUP lookup value is what do we want to look up? We want to look up Joe. Sorry, we want to look up the sales value here. Comma, where do we want to look up? We want to look it up here in this table. I'll press F4 to lock it. Comma, the table array, sorry, the column index number. The column index number for range is the second one. First is the value, second is the range. So I'll press 2, comma, and for the last option here, in the previous scenario we entered 0 for an exact match. In this case we will put in 1 for an approximate match. Enter. So it gives us the value less than 2 lakh in front of 1,40,000, which is less than this, so it's giving us this value. Similarly, if you drag this, you will see for 2 lakhs, if we see the greater value for 2 lakhs is this, it's giving us the one before, which is here. Similarly, for 1,80,000, this ends here. This is less than this, so it's giving us this value, less than 2 lakhs. So that's how you apply VLOOKUP with approximate match. We'll apply that for the commission part as well, so it will be a bit more clear. So equal to VLOOKUP. We want to look up the sales value, comma, we want to look it up in this range. I'll press F4 to lock it, comma, we want to look the commission here. So commission in the third column, 1 is the value, 2 is the range, third is the commission. So I'll press 3, comma, 1 for an approximate match, bracket close, enter. I'll apply the percentage formatting here. I'll copy this formula and drag it down. You see, less than 2 lakhs, we will be giving 2 lakh commission. For 2 to 3 lakhs, it's 3%, and 3 to 4 lakhs, it's 4%, and similarly, we have for other parameters. So that's how you apply VLOOKUP with approximate match. That was the second variation of VLOOKUP. So the third VLOOKUP variation is VLOOKUP and match combined. So in this scenario, you don't know where the column is. So for example, we have a data here and the columns move really often. So sometimes department is here, sometimes department is here, sales numbers are here, or sales numbers are here sometimes. So you're not sure what are the column numbers that this data will be available. So we will combine VLOOKUP and match function in it, and then it will be automated. So you don't have to enter the column numbers. So I'll first apply a simple VLOOKUP function, and then we will incorporate match function in it separately. So first I'll apply VLOOKUP. So VLOOKUP, equal to VLOOKUP. Lookup value is what do we want to look up? We want to look up Joe, comma, where do we want to look it up? Table array, where do we want to look up? We want to look it up here in this column. It should start from the column these values are in. F4 to lock it, comma, E-code. Here currently the E-code is in third column. So first is name, second is department, third is the E-code. So I'll press 3, comma, 0. So this is the E-code for Joe, 4464 here. So we need to automate this 3. We don't know where the sales column will be in the next when the next file comes. So we will automate this. How can we do that? So we'll apply a match function here separately. So equal to match. So what do we want to match? We want to match the E-code. We don't know the column, so we want to match this heading, comma, where do we want to match? We want to match it here in this heading. F4 to lock it, comma, and we want an exact match. So I'll press 0, bracket close, enter. So it's giving me that the E-code is in the third column. 3 is the column number. 1, 2, 3. So simply we'll just copy this, copy, and instead of the 3 we will paste it here. Enter. So I'll try and paste this formula in this range and see if it's worked. It will not work. I'll tell you why. Okay, so it's not working simply because we have not locked the range. Firstly, we need to ensure that this column where the name is, this doesn't move forward. So if you see here, this has moved forward. You see, so we need to lock this. So H4 is a cell number. So we need to lock H here because H is the column. We don't want the column to move, so I'll put a $sign before it. Similarly, if we see in the second row, this has also moved down. So ideally it shouldn't have moved down. So we need to lock this I3. So we need to lock the 3 in the I because we don't want the rows to move down. So before the 3, I'll put a $sign and enter. Now if we copy this formula and drag it everywhere, it will work perfectly. So we also have a dedicated video on this locking of cell or the $sign. If you want to learn how to lock the cells, you can refer to our video. I'll put the link in the description box below. You see the second here, it is linked to this cell. So wherever this department is, it will automatically pick the value. It will find the match for it. It will give the column number automatically and it will fetch the value. So even if we cut and paste it here, so if we cut the sales value and paste it here, it will again give us the same value because it will identify where the sales is. So that is the third variation of VLOOKUP and my favorite, which is VLOOKUP and match. The fourth variation in the list is the VLOOKUP for looking up second and third value in the list. So if you're aware, VLOOKUP has a drawback. It will always give you the first value in the list. So for example, if you have a range here and this value appears multiple times, so VLOOKUP will only give you the value which is in the first cell here. So wherever it will find Joe first, it will give you the value against it. So it will not look any further and give you the second or the third value. So how you can fetch up the second and third value, I'll explain you. For this, you need two supporting columns. First is the count, second is the concat. So you need to apply a countif function here. Countif. So you want to count this range and see how many times Joe appears here. So in this, we need to lock the first range, just the B4, and this will remain open, comma, criteria is Joe, bracket close, enter. I'll drag this formula and I'll show you why we lock this range. So if I press F2, you see this range has moved down one cell. So it was from here till here. In this cell, it has moved from this to this. So similarly, I'll copy this formula down. So you see, every time Joe repeats, it's giving us a second and then the third against that. So now we'll concat this list, concatenate. So we will do Joe and the count of Joe. I'll drag this formula. So here we want to list the applications with what Joe is working on. Application 1, 2, 3. So I've entered a value here, 1, 2, 3, just to link the cell reference for the application. So I'll apply a VLOOKUP function. So what do we want to look up? We want to look up two things, Joe and 1. So for that we need, again we'll use the concat. So Joe, I'll press F4 to lock the column because we'll be dragging this formula. So for column lock, we need to apply a $sign before G and 1. So we need to lock this row here. So again, I'll press F4. Sorry. F4, F4, so it is locked, comma, I'll select the table array. So here, this will be starting from here because this is a concat, so it will start from concat and go to applications use. So I'll lock the range, comma 2, comma 0, bracket close, enter. I'll copy this formula and drag it on the cells. So it will give us the first value for Joe, which is XL. Second value for Joe is JDE, if you see in the list here. And a third value is CMS. You see there's an error here because Suzanne doesn't have a third application that she works upon. So she only has 2 applications. To resolve this, we need to apply if error function. So I'll apply the if error here. If error, and this is a very simple function, just need to enter a comma and 0. If there is an error, it should give us a 0, or you can also mention NA here in quotes. So it will give us an NA when there is an error. So I'll copy this and drag it. So it's giving an error for the third application for Suzanne. So that's how you apply the VLOOKUP for the second and third value. These are the variations of VLOOKUP. If you've learned something new, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Thank you.